One in particular was a YouTuber by the name of Simone56. I understand she's in a beef with some other YouTuber. Um, it's really not even suspected. I can really tell that she is a Negro bedwench, or but basically, she's one of those black women on the internet who have to bait black women into hating black men and kind of throwing a go date the white boys curveball. They always, she's one of those crystalline Kerasin type. They're always baiting nonsensical issues, really non-factoring issues, and they just blame black men, and then you have their stupid followers going like, yeah, black men ain't shit. They expect us to do everything. Where my white man at? It's I get really tired of that sisterhood. But what bothered me the most was, you know, I think she's a failed bedwench. That's what I think. She's probably putting up one of those white supremacist stormfronts because she wants to appease. She probably can't even get the liberal whites, so she has to appease conservative whites who have a bitter hatred towards black men, and so I wouldn't even be surprised if she was going to vote for Trump. But anyways, this woman, Cinnamon, oh, my bad, Simone56, um, she made a video, and the thing is, she couldn't even make a video properly. I'm like, it's really easy to stick a thumbnail. I mean, it's really easy to have a still image and slap an audio at the same time. I don't know how you made a video and you can't even, you can't even, understand basic editing. I don't know how people mess that up. Yeah, I don't know. That's a pet peeve of mine when I see YouTubers make a video and they leave a blank space. They just upload the audio, and it's like, golly, they really must think I'm gonna look at like 20 minutes of nothing. At least give me an image or something to look at. But anyways, this woman, she makes a video uh, based off a thumbnail that she meant to, whatever. And it's a picture of supposedly a picture of a little black girl in a Ferguson protest, and she's giving her condolences to Mike Brown, and Simone56 is on this damn rant of what's this little black girl doing on the streets? Shouldn't she be reading or coloring or doing something that most kids do? And I can partially agree. Like, I don't think women or girls should be in the forefront. But I look at the picture from what I can tell. The idiot couldn't even post it right. Um, I look at the picture and what proof is she in a protest? This could be in any old street. Hell, how do we know that this is in Ferguson? She didn't cite where she got this photo from. So you come off and make a very cliche, nonsensical argument talking about how this how the black men are putting their little girls in the forefront, for the slaughter of white supremacy and racist cops, and we're forcing our girls to be Afrocentric and race soldiers. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, black men, especially, I don't know what black father is gonna have his daughter, in the middle of the night, uh, with holding a sign where there's police shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. I don't know what kind of father I can expect that from a single mother, but I don't even know what dude, is in a protest and he's like, where are all the little girls at? We need them. We ain't gonna move until we get the permission of every mother in the street to have their little girls up in the forefront. Like niggas don't do that. You know, you know, it was really hard for me to watch, the whole video because like people don't talk like that. People are not trying to get their little girls into any type of mess like that. To me, it's just poor comprehension on her part, um, taking the photo too seriously. I mean, it's just a picture of a girl in a quiet street. Yeah, there's trash. Okay, black neighborhood. Maybe it was from Freaknik, that night. But, I'm not gonna get bent out of shape. I don't see why you would get bent out of shape over that. It's symbolic. I'm not seeing a white police officer trying to hit her over the head with a baton. Come on. All that reaching she's doing of trying to call black men cowards for trying to get their black girls into racial politics. Studies actually show that parents who introduce their children to um, racial political problems and talk to them about race, those kids are more likely to be racially accepting to diversity and nicer to other people than parents who don't talk to their kids about race. Oh, is that why those conservative white schools that black kids are going to are getting bullied? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we've seen the cases of, black kids going to white schools and they're being bullied and, the white parents are like, "Oh, we don't talk about race because we don't need to. Just treat everybody nice." And they're shocked to see Sally and Billy calling their black classmates the N-word. Oh, we never use that language, you know. Yeah. So, talking about race to a child, whether it's a girl or boy, it's not going to do anything harmful. My dad talked to me about race when I was a child, when I was really young. And I don't walk around with no hatred or vitriol to whites. I don't walk walk around with a gun trying to, yeah, ignite a race war or some shit. I don't do that. A lot of these black girls, they do need to get hip on racial politics, but they don't need to be race soldiers. Right? That's nothing that even a grown woman should not even be concerned about doing. The problem with it is that women, black women they create a revolving problem or what's the phrase I'm looking for? A circular argument. Because what they'll do is that like, for instance, the civil rights movement, mostly you see men, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, you get Rosa Parks, but it's mostly, revolving around the life of Dr. King and other Christian, um, preachers or priests who were setting up boycotts and strikes and all that. Um, the problem that a lot of women, especially black feminists, had with the civil rights movement was because they felt like women's voices were not being heard and women were being xed out of the conversation about racism and sexism. And so, black women became black feminists, you know, and so, they wanted to, um, you know, we already know the history of feminism, but it's funny now that, I'm hearing Black Lives Matter, which is composed of what, mostly black lesbians, and I see them complaining about where are all the black men at. I'm like, circular argument, really. You know, it doesn't make sense. Like, You can't expect us to be there and then get mad when we're not there, and then be mad when we are there and we want to do something on our terms. You can't have it both ways. It's a ridiculous circular argument. Um, Women wanting to fight for racism and for black issues, and then they get mad when they're actually fighting for race issues, and it's like, oh, well, we didn't mean it. I mean, it was just symbolism. I was just saying I'm with you guys in spirit. I don't want to fight white men. I don't want to ruin my chances of dating white men. I was just being figurative. That's how they are. And that's why you see a lot of black feminists um, doing these kind of artistic photographs. I've noticed this lately of these black feminists writing poems, um, wannabe Beyonce lemonade music videos, or they're doing some type of photographic art that's in reference to black womanhood, racism, sexism. They're doing that because black women are powerless. They have to use art to, entertain themselves, because that's really all they know how to do is attack things or talk about things through symbolism. They're not direct. Women are not direct. They're not going to come up. They're not even going to come up to, white men and be like, "Yeah, you need to do something. You need to give me equal pay. It's not fair that you're giving a white girl or an Asian woman more money than me." They're not gonna do it. They might, at best, they'll probably just write a poem about it. Black women are not fighting. They are not fighting white supremacy. They're really not. They may hate it and have a vitriol against it, but they're not fighting white supremacy. And this is why I don't see any issues with the photo, because it's symbolism. It means nothing. We don't know if this girl was there in the protest. We don't know if this was in Ferguson. We don't even know what's going on. It's just a girl with a damn sign. It's symbolism. They're like, what black girls are running around fighting for racism, fighting for black men. Despite the Black Lives Matter and little protests you see that are written about on Huffington Post for Harriet, with these silly, campaigns of free the nipples or black women running around naked. Symbolism. Nothing tangible. They're not really fighting the problem. They just want attention and be like, oh, well, I'm running around naked because um, it's symbolism to all the black girls in America and Africa who were sex trafficked. Okay, so what are you going to do about it physically? Oh, I don't know. I can't do anything. Oh, okay. What do you expect men to do? Oh, I want men to fight the rapist. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. And another thing is that, Simone56 brings up like this fake outrage that black men don't care about rape, which is a lie. Let a black father know that his daughter got raped. Let a cousin who just got out of the pen hear that his, cousin or sister got raped. You know, but, black. I hate this silly argument that black men don't care about the lives of black women, and we're sitting back laughing at black women being raped. That doesn't happen. Why don't you talk about the single mothers who ignore their daughter's cries for rape? Those situations where a daughter tells her mother that, hey, your boyfriend touched me. And the mother is like, fuck you, bitch. You're not trying to take my man again. you know, tell a father that, a black father, that he's not gonna question. More than likely, he's not gonna question. He's gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna see him, and I'm gonna bring my gun." But the problem with women is that they're afraid that men take, black men especially, take rape too seriously, and they're afraid that if they tell their dad or their cousin or brother that they might go to jail for killing the dude. And so black women don't tell, black women don't say anything, and then it's a circular argument yet again because black men are vilified for not doing anything. But the thing is, they're not telling us anything. You gotta tell us. Shit, you know, circular arguments, fake outrage, you know. But I hope Simone56 sees my video. I really don't like her, but I don't have like hatred for her or anything. I just find that her way of thinking is a bit off, and that you need to stop drawing straws when you're dealing with black men. If you want a conservative white boy, get you one. You don't need to use black men as the bait and then try to get black women on board like we ain't shit or anything. You know. Granted, black men don't have all the answers, or not. We don't have the tools to fix all the problems in the community. And but let's be real. Let's be real in this. A lot of black women are okay with the situation of the black community. I'm not okay with it, but there isn't enough voices out there to say, hey, something's wrong with the black community when it comes to dating and resources. A lot of people, not just men, a lot of women are complacent with the situation. They're not trying to do anything. They're not trying to pass generational wealth. They're just living for now, going to the club, partying, just having sex for the fun of it. We just bullshit. We just smoking blunts. We just rapping. We just modeling. We just doing whatever. you know. That's why I say, a lot of black women are distractions in the movement to black liberation or black economic freedom. Because the thing is with black women, when you're having black women on the forefront, whether she's as a soldier or whatever, the problem is that it's going to be a circular argument of why is she there. And then when she's hurt or something bad happens to her, she's blaming you for not protecting her. It's like I can't, it doesn't make sense. Like, we're like the same type. That's like a pawn trying to protect a pawn. Like, that doesn't make sense. You need to protect the king, not another pawn. That doesn't make sense. I really didn't watch the full video. I just kind of stopped at like the first 10 to 8 to 10 minutes. I don't. I just wondered, like, what did she think about to make this video? Like, what was her thought process? You see one photo, and you're reaching, you're reaching, you're reaching, you're reaching. Like, what are you reaching for? I don't know black men. I don't know any black man expecting black girls, especially like girls, like young kids, expecting to, fight for black men, fight for niggas 3 times their age. I ain't never seen shit like that. But there's nothing wrong with a black girl having racial pride, showing symbolic support. So all that little girl was doing was holding a sign. Black girls need to be talking about race. Their parents need to talk to them because I'm tired of seeing the bullshit. I'm tired of seeing the bullshit of black girls hating their hair, hating their skin. Let's not pretend like the dog test is not real. I've known a single mom who had ironically, this was her son. I don't know if it was her son or daughter. Could have sworn it was the son, but it might have been the daughter. One of her kids, they were at Walmart, and one of the kids said, like, black is ugly, you know, white is good. And I say that's what you get for not teaching them or talking about race, because they're going to see it. Black kids are going to see that they're a problem in society, and if you don't talk about it, they're gonna feel like, oh yeah, I am the problem. I need to be white. I need to be with white friends. I need to be with white people. I'm a bad person. I'm the ugly doll. I'm the bad doll. I'm the doll that nobody likes. That's what they're going to be saying when you don't talk to them about race. But I'm gonna end this here.